Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome. Today is Monday, March 27th, 2023. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup. No martial arts radio mug today because we're not doing episode 800 until tonight. So I have no episode to talk to you about. We will talk about episode 800 a little bit. We'll talk about the stuff that Frank sent over. We'll talk about your weekend and what we've got going on today, Monday, for all of us. And I'm just glad that everybody's here. Who is here? Let's see. Good morning to Frank, Rebecca, Gad, Brian, Stacy, John, Dennis. What is happening? Look at all these people here today. Love it. I love it. Dennis says 6 o'clock already. I was just in the middle of a dream. I was kissing Sarah Campo by a crystal blue Italian stream. But he's got music notes there. Is this a song? I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Well, I'm glad everybody's here. I don't know what's going on. Good morning, Nick. Well, first, let's do this. How was your weekend? Tell me what you did this weekend. I had a great weekend. I think I told most of you. On Friday, traveled south, did some filming for the training program. Let's look at training program. Some of the other training programs, I guess. We need different terms because they're very different things. We worked on the next, we shot video for the next monthly program. So once a lot of people are doing a lot of people are doing, what are you doing? Kick Clinic? Doing Kick Clinic now? No, you're doing Flex. Sorry, you're doing the flexibility program. The next program, Knee Clinic, shot video for that. But Craig also worked on Matic Level 2 and some of the other specialty programs that we'll be rolling out later this year. Great stuff going on. Hey, heads up, if you haven't done Level 1, you can come to Level 1. The next one is May 20th in New Hampshire, actually at Craig's school. And if you're unfamiliar with Matic, you should go and check it out at whistlekick.com. Matic Level 1 is an incredible course. So I did that Saturday, hung out with and taught at Mark's school. Had a lot of fun there. Always enjoy working with his students. And then after, stuck around, we recorded just over an hour an episode with Mark, Craig, and I as sort of a panel. And we took questions from the audience, being Mark's students. And it was the first time we'd ever had a live audience for an episode. And it was a lot of fun. And I should say live audience because like tonight, episode 800, there will be plenty of people in the audience live. But we won't. Some green tea this morning. It was a long weekend. It was a busy weekend, up late Friday and Saturday, just between logistics and travel and social time and one, great time, but tired. People are saying they're having a hard time hearing things, that there are audio issues. Let me see what I can do. Let's see what's going on. Is it using the wrong microphone? It says it's using the correct microphone. I don't know what else I can do. So nothing appears to have changed on my end. That doesn't mean it's not changing for you, but sorry. I'm just going to keep going. Yesterday, went to the gym and went to my improv class. Only got a couple more of those left. It's been amazing what we're doing, the progress that we've made in just a short period of time. And getting more and more requests from people. Hey, can you teach self-defense? Can you teach me some self-defense? Did about a 3-minute class for somebody in the lobby. It's like, here are a few things to think about. Came home, I went to bed early. It was nice. And here we are for Monday. Now today, Monday, March 27th, episode 800 of Whistlekick Martial Arts Radio. Most podcasts don't make it to 10. And here we are, just about 8 years in. Yeah, pretty darn close to 8 years. Not on the dot, but within a week. And we're doing episode 800. It's been a long ride. It's been an almost entirely good thing. Sometimes it's frustrating or stressful, challenging. But when I look at it, I look at how far it's come. And we're going to talk a lot about this tonight. And I hope everyone can make it. 8 o'clock, U.S. Eastern, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And Twitter. Not that anyone ever watches on Twitter. If I look right now, is anybody watching on Twitter? No. Not one person. That's fine. At least not that. Actually, those stats come through differently. Maybe I just don't know. Maybe they do, and and StreamYard doesn't tell me. I lost my train of thought. So episode 800. When I think back to day one, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to interview people. I didn't know how to improvise conversationally. I said a lot of ums and and had other filler words. I was the only person who did the podcast, the only person who touched it from start to finish. Now we've got 8 people involved in every episode. We do transcripts. We do so many things that come out of these episodes. It's been quite a ride. And it is one of the best things that we do here at Whistlekick, and I'm really proud of it. And I hope to see all of you tonight, at some point at least, for the episode 800 celebration. If you can't make it live, we will re-air it. It's going to come through your podcast feed likely on Wednesday, but you should be able to rewatch it on any of those platforms indefinitely. Frank is reminding me, yes, we did. I had another terrific call with my friend Jeremy on Friday. We had a great chat. And let's just say at some point in the near future, one of the things that you all really appreciate Frank for will expand a little bit. I'm not going to tell you anything more than that. Frank says, I got tired of wasting so much time on the computer, so instead I decided to do something constructive. I got back into Duolingo. I work on my Spanish with Duolingo every day. You all know my affinity for doing things that take small amounts of time, but doing them frequently. Duolingo fits into that very, very well. Sponsored by Duolingo. Would I take Duolingo as a sponsor? I would, because a lot of us would enjoy learning Japanese or Korean or Mandarin or I don't know, whatever language might be appropriate for where martial art or arts that you train in come from. What am I on? 90-something, 93-day streak. Now, it's not entirely true because Duolingo has gamified things so much that, I miss some days. I miss some weekend days. And like, oh, but you can use your gems to refill your streak. Freeze. Sure. If that makes you happy, that's fine. Gad is learning Korean with Duolingo. That's cool. The alphabet is so much more logical than ours. It's great. Frank's learning Spanish. And Dennis is reminding us that it's WrestleMania 39 week. Wow. Pro wrestling is fun. It's just fun. You have to suspend some things. You have to kind of get into it. But once you get into it, it's fun. I don't want to say suspend disbelief, but what were we talking about? A couple times ago when I was down hanging out with Craig, there was a pro wrestling event, and we watched it, and it was a lot of fun. And we had a conversation about the difference between fake and scripted. It's not fake. It is scripted. There's a dramatic difference. Slider says the A&E WWE documentaries have been really good. I am unfamiliar with those. Jenny says Duolingo stock has been doing well. They're doing something right over there. Yeah, I would love to see their books. I would love to see how many people are paying for it, because they've built such a wonderful thing that you don't really need to pay for, depending on how you want to use it. You can just keep plugging along. I've read that there is an end point. When I come back from Mexico, and I realized that my Spanish was getting better, but I wanted it to continue to get better. And I was committed to working on Duolingo more. I was doing some research as to what I would use next. And there are plenty of things that come next, but I'm nowhere near. I think, what did I just see? Somebody that I know doing Spanish with Duolingo, was it like a 300-day streak or a 500-day streak? It was something crazy. And Gad suggesting that Duolingo success is the balance between fun and education with a healthy dose of competition added into the mix. We're talking about Duolingo. We're not talking about pro wrestling. But could we not suggest the same for a martial arts school? Balance between fun and education with a healthy dose of competition. It's almost as if those are universal things that tie into activity. When I work with clients, especially if we're talking about social media, is it entertaining or is it educational? Those are the two main categories that we drive for. And sometimes you lean into one more than the other. Good morning to you, Andy. Jenny says her boys and their dad are going to be a part of a weekend-long party for WrestleMania. It's a pretty big deal, and they look forward to this party like little kids. And Dennis look forward to Christmas. That's funny. Thank you, Gad. So what happened with you this weekend? I told you my weekend. I want to know about your weekend, and I want to know what you're doing today. Today's a pretty straightforward day for me. I've got a number of client calls, be doing some work in between. Despite going to bed early, I'm feeling a little run down. I'm feeling tired. I'm probably going to take a nap after the show before I start my work day. And depending on how the day goes, if I feel good, I'll go to the gym before episode 800. If not, I will just rest. And we're probably going to go for about an hour tonight. It'll be a different format than we've done for these 100 level, these celebratory episodes. So if you were around for 700 or 600, we're always trying to make it a little bit different. Andrew's taken the ball and run with it this time, and I'm excited for the format that he's put together. And I'm just looking forward to it because we're going to have a whole bunch of guests, and I'm pumped for that. I'm always pumped for that. And I met one of you this weekend in person for the first time. That was fun. Some of you might be able to figure that out, but I don't generally name names. So if that person wants to say so, that's cool, but you don't have to. And what else? I don't know what else there is to say. So Facebook's not open. I was a little unprepared this morning because when I turned the computer on, which should have been a perfectly reasonable time, it was going through some update sort of things. And that took a little bit for it to finish. So I was a little bit behind. Where is it? There's Frank. And here we go. And Rebecca is acknowledging. Yes, Rebecca was the one I got to meet in person for the first time. That was a lot of fun. I was like getting to meet people. And anytime I get to meet someone that I've had text, written conversation with, and I don't know if you call the show conversation, but sort of, it's always fun. It's always fun to put faces to names. And we've got some quotes here that Frank sent over. Thank you as always to you, Frank, my friend, for all the work you do on the show. Thank you to Josh for our theme song. Thank you to Denise for the audio. Oh, StreamYard changed things again. Lovely. No, not that one. Stop changing things, you guys. Killing me. All right. And we got quotes from, we got 3 from Dolly Parton again. When I wake up, I expect things to be good. If they're not, then I try to set about trying to make them as good as I can because I know I'm going to have to live that day anyway. So why not try to make the most of it if you can? Some days they pan out a little better than others, but you still got to always just try. I think I've told you all multiple times. When I wake up, first things out of my mouth, today's going to be a great day. I'm going to make it a great day. I'm going to crush today. Today's going to be awesome. Something like that. Because it's true. Because I have that kind of control. Because it's about the way I look at the day, not necessarily what happens. Are there sometimes days that aren't awesome, that I don't crush? Yeah. But why would I want to focus on that? Why at the very beginning of the day would I want to set myself up for that? I'm always going to set myself up for success. Even a day that I'm not looking forward to has plenty of opportunity to change and become a great day. If a day can turn bad, a day can turn good. So why not set out for that? Take care, Andy. Over the weekend, Nick says he did some animal frolics Qigong with the kids on Saturday instead of sparring. It was lots of fun. Much giggling during the monkey section. Then the whole family went out for a fancy dinner for a belated birthday celebration for my girlfriend. This morning after class, I'll be setting up for belt promotions. Finally, over the next 2 days, I'll be preparing for my trip to my clinic coming up. Awesome. Sounds like you got a lot going on. Sounds like it was a great weekend. It can always be a great day. I'm going to take it back to this first line. When I wake up, I expect things to be good. They can be. You know, there's something, and we've talked about this a little bit. There's something that happens physiologically when we go to bed. There are a lot of things, as we know. There's some setting. There are elements in the body that reset with a good night's sleep. There are elements in the body that reset your mental expectations. We tend to think in terms of days, right? It's the contrast between awake and sleep. Don't be afraid to use it. This is where front loading some of your habits that make your day better are really important. I've been thinking about what would it look like if I went to the gym in the morning, and I don't think that's going to work out with the way I've built the rest of my life. But I acknowledge that if I did that, because I've done it, I've had streaks where I've done that in the past, it does set the tone for a better day. I don't like working out in the morning because I enjoy working out. And to me, it's something that I reward myself after getting my work done. But I feel better through the day when I work out in the morning. And there are plenty of other things I do in the morning. If you've read 12 Months to Health, and you can still read 12 Months to Health, it's not over, it's not gone, it's still out there. But if you read that book, you'll see a lot of things that are tied to morning habits. Slider says, took a group of students to their first tournament. That's awesome. I hope they had fun. 2 check boxes I look for with competition for everyone. Did you have fun and did you learn something? It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. If you can check those 2 boxes, everything else works out. Frank says, found so many Dolly quotes when researching for the show today. I believe it. She's been around a while, and she's been vocal, not just as a singer, but vocal for quite a while. What's her next quote? What's her next Dolly quote? Let's see. Oh, okay, what's happening? Things are moving. There we go. I think so many people live their whole life in fear and doubt and shame. Fear for sure. Doubt for sure. Shame. I don't think I've ever thought of it that way, but I think I would agree. I think a lot of people are ashamed of things they've done, or probably more likely the things they haven't done. How many people set out to live this wonderful life and they had these grand plans and they let tiny little things derail them? They lost their discipline and their focus. They lost their resilience. They settled. They didn't get what they wanted. They could have. They chose not to, because it is always a choice. Maybe it's an easier choice. Fear, doubt, and shame. I hope you don't let those control you. We've talked a lot on the show about fear versus love, determining what we do. At any given time, any action we take is rooted in some amount of fear and or love. Some of them are really easy to see. Some of them are a little more difficult to see, but if you keep whittling down, you can find what is motivating you. And if it is fear, what would be a more loving thing to do for yourself or for others? Doesn't mean it's easy. Simple and easy are not the same thing. We talk about that often. But when you find the right choice for you, you do what you got to do to be able to make that choice, to implement that choice, to live and embody that choice. Where's the love? Do you go to class because you're afraid of getting a nasty phone call from your instructor? Or do you go to class because you love training? You love the people there. You love getting better. Hopefully it's all the latter, but I'm sure there are people out there for whom it's the former. They don't want to get that nasty phone call. And when you start to understand this, you can see other people living in fear or living out of love, and you can connect with them. And you can come to understand what's motivating them, and you can support them. You can have more compassion. We got one more. Where is it? There it is. I don't know what the big deal is about old age. Old people who shine from the inside look 10 to 20 years younger. Still feel 25. All I have to do for people to have no idea how old I am is just shave my beard, because that's the only place the white is. I know I don't act my age. I hope I never do. We have some very interesting perspectives on age in Western culture, and I reject most of them. One that I've heard that I know I drive people nuts with, and that's fine. When people blindly accept that because you've reached a certain age, your body stops working. No, that's not because of your age. That's because of choices you've made in your life. I've heard people talk, oh, once you hit 30 or 35, you can't do this or that. Really? I can. Why not? Is it necessarily as easy? No, not necessarily. But the more research we do, the more science that comes out, the more we realize that these things that we've chalked up to getting older, it's actually because we've been treating our body like crap through food and inactivity, etc. There are different opinions on where we can get to without some major advancements. But the low end, the generally accepted low end, I got to sneeze. Come and hold on. Where is it? Sneeze. Is 120. If we do the things that we know how to do now, if we eat well, if we move well, etc., reaching 120 is not that out of the question for the majority of the population. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? If you dig around, you can see that historically we've had a bunch of people who have gotten pretty close to that. It certainly peters off, but we don't have people getting out to 150. So I think there's some logic in there. I want to live to see at least 100. That's my goal. I don't think I'm going to have any problem getting there. One of the biggest things that I think impacts that are your best days in front of you or behind you. Mine remain in front of me. The things that excite me are still in front of me. I've done plenty of great stuff. I have wonderful memories, but I'm not willing to let those be the only great things or the best things in my life. Jenny says, how many times have we seen martial artists still active in their 90s? Age ain't nothing but a number. Look at the cast of John Wick 4. How old are those guys? Action stars. 59, 60 years old. Any of us can do it. Anybody can do it at any time. It is a choice. It's about your priorities. It's simple. It's not easy. But you can do it if you want to. Rebecca says, when I decided to join karate just a little over a year ago, my mom's first words were, aren't you a little old for that now? I'm 46. I said, no, good. I once had a man who was 70 join the school that I taught. He couldn't hear me, but he had a blast and he got better. He had a lot of fun. His name was Rod. I would often have to shout across the room, Rod, your other hand. But he couldn't hear me half the time. So I'd have to go over and just move. He's like, oh, we had a good time. He's a good guy. The other piece that I reject about age is we tend to discount the experience of older people. Do older people always understand what's happening currently because of advancements with technology and such? No. But I think we would be a lot better off if we struck some balance between their experience and, let's say, modernism. Nick says, I have 2 students in their 70s, and sometimes they have the most energy and enthusiasm in the class. It's great. Gad says, I'm 47 and refuse to be defined by my age. For sure. People that blame the deterioration of their body simply on their age, one of 2 things is going on. They don't actually understand, or they're making excuses. We have far more control over ourselves than we want to admit. We have far less control over the world than we want to admit. We can control ourselves. You have a finite amount of energy to invest in things in a given day. Investing that energy in yourself, I think, has the best return. Something to consider. Just watching the chat. Thank you for coming by. Again, tonight, 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Whistlekick Martial Arts Radio, episode 800 live. I hope I will see you all there. And we've got an event for it. I'm going to reshare it on my personal Facebook. If you see that come through somewhere along the way, please do not hesitate to reshare it. Let's see how many people we can get in the live stream. Let's make it a party. I may or may not bring a drink. Regardless, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for your continued support of this show and of Whistlekick. It means a lot to me. And I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. I hope the quotes that we read today mean something to you and you'll contemplate how they relate to you in life and as a martial artist. If you want to support us, you got a bunch of ways you can do that. You can join the Patreon. We had another person join the Patreon last week. Thank you to that person. They know who they are. Many of you, maybe even most of you, support the Patreon, and I appreciate that. You can join for as little as $2 a month. You can also buy something at the store at whistlekick.com using the code FIRSTCUP15 to save 15%. And if you want the family page, whistlekick.com/family, that's where all the good stuff is. You can check it out there. There's lots of other things you can do, but at the family page, you'll see the whole list. So thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a fantabulous day. And I'll see you tonight. Take care, everybody. Peace.